Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into something that is literally rewiring the internet from the ground up: the economics of decentralized sovereignty. Specifically, we are looking at Linkspreed LLC's Atrium platform. They're on this massive quest to build completely free, decentralized online communities. So if you've ever found yourself wondering how on earth the next generation of the web is actually going to sustain itself financially, well, you're in exactly the right place. Now, this brings up the central paradox of our time online, right? We all want total control over our own data, our communities, our entire digital lives. But how do we actually pay for a free, decentralized internet without falling back on those creepy, predatory data mining practices we've all kind of begrudgingly accepted in the past? Basically, can digital sovereignty really be free for the people building it? It's like a giant puzzle. And I gotta say, the solutions we're about to unpack are incredibly clever. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the digital sovereignty shift, then we'll check out the current Atrium baseline, followed by breaking the price barrier. After that, we'll get into two major innovations: Truth Premium Verified Ads and the AI Utility Engine, before we wrap the whole thing up with the global utility infrastructure. All right, starting off with Section 1, the digital sovereignty shift, building the Web4 ecosystem. So to really wrap our heads around how this brand new Web4 ecosystem is being built by deep tech infrastructure architects like Linkspreed, we need to learn a critical new acronym, and that is SNAS, or Social Network as a Service. Think of this as a highly modular platform that lets literally any creator, enterprise, or regional body deploy a sovereign, fully decentralized social ecosystem, which you'll often hear called a super app, in under 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Now, Linkspreed's Atrium operates natively as a Web4 Studio on layer 6 of their massive 7-layer Web4 stack. You can basically think of Atrium as the ultimate unified gateway. It takes all those wild extensions, data points, and decentralized services and merges them into one seamless endpoint that anyone can launch instantly. Moving on to Section 2, the current Atrium baseline, high-margin infrastructure scaling. Before we get into the future of completely free networks, we kind of have to understand how they scale today. Because right now, creators and organizations do pay a little bit for complete control of their decentralized ecosystems. But Atrium manages to keep the overhead incredibly low. How? By using the distributed processing power of Layer 3 Arctic consumer nodes, completely ditching those expensive centralized data silos. This insane efficiency lets them monetize through three very sustainable pillars. First up, white label licensing, where big corporations pay tiered annual fees for private, secure social ecosystems. Second, a marketplace commission. That's a standard 10 to 15% take rate on third-party extensions and digital goods sold inside the Atrium store. And finally, Atrium API usage fees, which external orgs pay to securely link their legacy corporate databases right into this central hub. Section 3, breaking the price barrier, reaching the App Store moment. So while that baseline model we just talked about works wonders for enterprise clients, to reach a true App Store moment for decentralized communities, something big has to change. The current cost is just a few cents per user. A few cents. Thanks to the incredible efficiency of those Layer 3 Arctic nodes, the infrastructure lets an organization pay literally pennies to retain total control of their ecosystem. But, and this is a big but, even a few cents is just too much friction for true mass adoption. If Linkspreed wants to scale across the broader creator economy and power over 10 million individual super apps, financial barriers for the end administrator have to be completely 100% eliminated. I mean, you can't have a true revolution if there's a toll booth at the entrance, right? So the big question is, how do we absorb those hosting costs without just passing the buck down to the creator? Let's look at Section 4, Truth Premium Verified Ads, a new framework for monetization. Well, here is the first brilliant solution to absorbing those costs: Truth Premium Ads. This is an entirely verified advertising environment. By linking Atrium with Layer 4, which is known as Helion, and Layer 1, which houses the UID, advertising suddenly becomes inherently secure. Advertisers actually have to pass through UID's proof of personhood filter. That means only human-verified, totally legitimate businesses can even bid for ad space. Boom. This one structural hurdle effectively wipes out all the fraudulent ad spend, the bot networks, and that annoying synthetic noise that constantly ruins traditional advertising. And honestly, this perfectly highlights the stark contrast between the old web and the new. On one side, you have legacy Web 2 monoliths. Their entire model relies on predatory data mining, trapping your data in centralized cloud silos, and just endless privacy violations. But then, consider the Web 4 Atrium model. Because your data remains securely anchored to your sovereign identity, your UID, instead of some random cloud vendor, Atrium can use what's called zero server exposure routing. What that actually means for you is that highly contextual, relevant ads can be served up without ever violating your individual privacy protocols. You get the revenue to pay for the free network, but you keep your privacy totally intact. It is an absolute game changer for digital incentives.
Now for Section 5, the AI Utility Engine, Intelligent Modular Upsells.
So ads aren't the only way to subsidize a free internet. Let's walk through how specialized AI integration creates a second, highly efficient revenue framework right alongside the base network. It works like this. Step 1. You launch your base decentralized social network. It is completely free. Zero cost to you, zero cost to your users. Step 2. As your community naturally grows, your community managers can optionally choose to unlock intelligent extensions. We're talking automated AI moderation tools, translation modules, and some really deep data analytics packages. Then, Step 3 takes it even further by integrating Layer 5, which is called Treve. This allows for AI-assisted vibe coding using micro-language models so users can just build custom internal workflows and features on the fly. The compute power for these advanced AI applications is monetized via tiny micro-fees or bundled utility subscriptions. And those optional upsells, they subsidize a free infrastructure for everyone else. It's a win-win. And finally, Section 6. The Global Utility Infrastructure, Strategic Implications for the Web4 Ecosystem. So what does this all mean when we take a step back and look at the big picture? Let's consider how the internet is evolving across three very distinct models. First, think about data ownership. Legacy platforms absolutely hoard it, but both the Atrium paid tier and the new free tier give that ownership right back to the user via the UID. Now consider the cost to creator. Legacy platforms are technically free, sure, but they can deplatform you at any given second. The Atrium paid tier costs just a few cents, but that new Atrium free tier, it is completely 100% free. Then there's the monetization drive. We are shifting away from targeted data mining, moving to white label licenses, and ultimately arriving at this incredibly secure model of verified ads and optional AI packages. Plus, deployment time stays insanely fast across the board. Essentially, we are watching Web4 Studio transition from just a localized tool provider into a truly global digital utility infrastructure. The core takeaway here is absolutely monumental. By completely wiping out those price barriers and absorbing the costs through verified ads and AI utility, Linksprate is positioning this network of networks framework to organically onboard users at an unprecedented scale. They're literally opening the floodgates here, empowering millions of people to build sovereign, independent communities without a single drop of financial friction. Honestly, how often do we see a technical barrier completely vanish for the everyday creator? That is the scale of what we're looking at today. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question. Does digital sovereignty really have to come with a premium price tag? As we've seen today, the answer is a resounding no. The economic engine of Web4 is being fundamentally redesigned so that freedom, privacy, and community ownership are accessible to absolutely everyone. The tools to build your own independent community are now completely free. So, the only question left is, what are you going to build?